I don't
look.
care how you look, Sammy. I'm always terrified, so it doesn't really
I
matter.
look fat, cuz I done got fat. I done got fat,
So this
y'all.
is episode 24 of Inside the Vibe. We have a special guest with us. We have AKB. How you doing, man?
Hey,
Good
hey,
man, how you
B.
doing? Number 24, bro. I feel special. Kobe
24.
Bryant, rest in peace.
Kobe Bryant's 20. I'm not a basketball person, man.
Oh, don't
Number
even go
24,
there, Bob.
man.
Yeah, let it go, Bob.
I'm gonna let it go, man. Like,
I
Bro, right
want
here.
people to listen to us. I want people to listen to
oh,
us.
that's nice. What is that?
I keep it with me in the studio, bro, right next to me. This year started off tough because of this, man. The first person I wrote a song about ever, I was 12 years old, Kobe Bryant.
That's
Oh, that's dope.
crazy.
That's dope.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
That's his rookie card.
Um, I think so. 70. Damn, he was born in 78, pick 13. It doesn't say rookie card.
Oh, okay.
Where,
98, 99.
where'd you get that from? eBay?
No, I got that like when I was like 15 or 16, man. When I don't even remember from my friend's mom or something. We bought it off like her house or something. I don't know.
Okay, so
That's dope.
I just already know that you have an incredible story already. Look at you, like
Mm-hmm.
just some random card from 15 years ago, just like just
A
chilling with
Kobe
you
though.
of
A
Kobe.
That's Kobe,
Kobe.
man.
So
It's Kobe.
most people don't know who. Most of my listeners don't know who you are, right? So
Hmm.
the first thing I'm gonna say is your Instagram name is ridiculous. Indian dentist rapper. This is
Yes, sir.
something that if I typed it on Google, which I did, all your other socials came up. No one's claiming the title of an Indian dentist rapper. And what makes you choose those three key words to represent who you are?
To be honest, my first username was AKB Music, and then what happened was I would type in Indian dentist rapper as like my bio, and that started to get stuck with people. And then I started listening to more like this was like 2 years ago, and so like I started listening to Gary Vaynerchuk and his podcasts and stuff like that, and it's like he said one word. He said land grab. The internet is like land grab. If you can find something that nobody else owns and you can claim it yours, it's like buying property in Manhattan like 80 years ago. You know, like
Huh.
who would have known it's going to be worth millions of dollars for like a small room right now? You know, so just like that, Indian dentist rapper became a thing because people started to gravitate towards that name. So I started to change my name all across my platforms, and here we are. Now it's Indian dentist rapper, and it helps a lot because everywhere I post now, I don't have to write Indian dentist rapper anymore. It already says it in my name, so I could write other stuff that's useful. You know?
That's crazy. So just to get into your story, right? Were you
Hmm.
born in India or were you born here?
Yeah, I was born and raised in India until I was 10 years old, and then when I turned 10, my mom's side of the family lives in California, and so we moved to California at 10 years of age.
How different
Wow.
is India? I know
For
that's
real
that's
though.
probably a different that is a generic question, right? But
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Let me ask this. Can I ask a
Uh-huh.
question?
Uh-huh.
Is it the same like what people see like on CNN? Like I don't mean that in a bad way, because like for people
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Africa, like people like when you see pictures of Africa, they show like the poverty, people barefoot walking, hungry and shit.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
not all Africa's like that. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, I think it's exactly like that. There's parts of India that's super poor, and there's parts of India that is super rich, like crazy
just like
rich. And
everywhere,
yeah, but
just like
like
yeah.
there's like no real middle though. There's like real poverty, and then there's like real super like rich, you know. And
Okay.
yeah, it's there's parts of India that are so beautiful, amazing. To put it in context, it's like Mexico, but like it's also like there's like cows and dogs walking on the street, and it's like there's temples and like mosques, and like there's so many beautiful places you can go to, and I just love India. It's like comparing an apple to an orange. They both are different, but they're both good at the same time. Like
Yeah.
when I'm in India, I love India, and like I don't miss America because I was there for like 5 years for dental school, and then and when you're in America, you miss India at the same time, and the opposite, because it's different. It's a completely different
I
lifestyle.
watched Action Bronson's Fuck That's Delicious. Have you seen the show?
Is that the show where they
No,
get high and
No, 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 no.
eat food?
No, well, they get
they just eat a bunch
yeah,
of food.
they get food. So what they do is the
Okay.
first couple seasons, they've been around. They go to random countries and they
Mm,
taste their food, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
from people who live in Bakersfield, right? Well, I'm not from Bakersfield. Well, I'm from Bakersfield, but not really. I grew up in like a small outskirt town in Wasco. Coming to
Yeah.
Bakersfield opened my fucking eyes to like millions of different types of food, right? And I know that's weird to both of you guys because you're like, this shit's just normal to me, right? But I grew up and the only place that delivered was Pizza Hut. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We got Carl's
Makes
Jr.
sense.
like
Yeah.
6 years ago. When the Carl's Jr.
Damn.
popped
Okay.
off in Wasco, my boy, I'm not gonna say his name, became pre-diabetic in a couple months because of that shit. Like, yo, this is crazy, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, nah, you laughing, but you
That's
can hear the
cold
shit. Like,
blooded.
yo, like, why are you airing me out? So, if you can,
You didn't air him out. He didn't use his name.
right? If you can, like, if you would, can describe one dish that someone should eat when they go to India, what would it be?
Tandoori chicken.
Explain that.
Tandoori chicken. Or like butter chicken curry with like garlic naan. It's Punjabi type food. It's called
Ooh.
Punjabi food, and it's butter chicken is basically like a reddish orangish gravy full of like chicken pieces, tender, soft, juicy. Very.
Sounds
It could be
bomb.
sweet, but at the same time, it's like also spicy because it's full of a bunch of spices. And then you eat it with garlic naan and as bomb with some raw onions on the side. You just bite on the raw onions.
That sounds fire. I've had
Yeah.
some Indian food out here in Bakersfield, but I don't think it does it justice. Just like
You know where you should go? Viceroy. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there's a place on Stockdale, Viceroy. It's a good Indian restaurant, brand new. Yeah, it tastes really good.
I'm gonna have to
I
try
don't
it.
think I've ever had Indian food as well. I mean,
I've had
You
I've
gotta
Indian
go
always
for the
food.
wanted to
lunch
try it.
buffets.
And I love chicken, man. Anything that got chicken in
Nice. Yeah.
it.
You know what's so
You know
crazy?
me. You know
Before we get
me.
really into this interview, because we're gonna talk about your life and everything, right? Um,
hmm
some stereotypes are like the most true because like I never when there's no tortillas in this house, bro, I don't know what to eat. Like I'm just being honest. Like if like dinner, like we'll have like normal steaks with like mashed potatoes, and I'll heat up a tortilla and cut the steak up, bro, and throw it in there. And that's not what that steak was grilled to eat like a steak. And it's like
Yeah.
like it's just crazy. But so you're from India, right?
hmm
Growing up for 10 years in India and then coming to America, how much of a
Uh-huh.
culture shock was that?
It was big. It was big. But also, since I was 10 years old, I adapted really quickly. So, for example, I remember everything. Like, I landed in Los Angeles at like noon on December 27th of 2000. You know, that's how like crazy of a like lifestyle change it was. We landed at that time, and then right after that, I believe like 4 days later, like when January 2nd or 3rd, whenever schools opened that year, I was put into school, and I was this little Indian kid dressed up in Indian clothes, glasses on, and in this classroom that doesn't look like a classroom to me because that's not what classrooms look like in India. And there's this white lady with blonde hair that comes up to me and asks me, "What is your name?" And I say, "Abhiraj Bhatt," and she's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Abhiraj Bhatt, like that's my name, you know?" And she's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "You know what? You can just call me Raj." And that's when people started calling me Raj. And then there was a TV in the classroom. I got my own seat. I didn't have to share a bench with four other students. So this is all culture shock because in school in India, it's like you sit on one bench. There's like four other people. There's a chalkboard. There's no TVs, and you know. So
Yeah.
just with that being said, and then like yeah, just completely after that, I started adapting to like English, and you know, started learning how to speak proper English, and just kind of getting along. Yeah.
So in India, you learned like some English.
I was an English medium school. So my parents made sure that I go to a school that teaches English like primarily,
Mm-hmm.
and the Indian languages are also there, but English is like the main language that's being taught there. So that was I think it helped a lot because like right now I don't have that much of an accent, and I adapted really quickly in
Yeah,
America.
you really can.
And
You can't really tell like that at all. Like
Sammy
yeah,
I
got a
and
can't
we
hear
good
your
accent.
accent. Yeah.
at first when we did move into America, we lived at my uncle's house, and he has two kids, one little boy and a little girl older than him, and so they both were like different ages, and I was a different age, and so we always played like video games, and we had like you know just played a bunch of games like teaching and like all these like cars and Hot Wheels that I got introduced to for the first time at like age 10, 11. and they speak perfect English because they're born and raised in America.
Yeah.
So I was around them, and they don't speak my language, Gujarati, like properly as properly as I can speak English, or I can speak Gujarati. So that's how I started. I had to learn. Like I still remember one day he was playing like Mario Kart game or something on Nintendo, and he said, and I saw him like lose like the game, like at the last second he was about to win, and he said, "Oh shoot, I almost won." And I was like, "Wait, why did he say I won when he didn't win?" But then there was this word in the middle that says almost, and I was like, "Almost should mean like almost," you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I
Yeah.
started learning. I remember these like particular parts of my life.
So, in India, right? You said that your parents put you into school that was like kind of teaching you English. Is that kind of like a privilege out there, or is it like one of those things where a lot of the schools teach English because I'm guessing it's like predominant language of the world? Well, it looks like it's getting to that point.
That's a good question. I'm not sure if it's a privilege, meaning like there's a lot more money involved because I was too
Uh-huh.
young to know that kind of stuff. But I do think there are a lot of schools that provide that as a choice. But then again, there's a lot of parents that want their kids to go to a Hindi medium school, which is the national language of India, and then there's other types of languages. And so I think it's a choice. It's like my parents knew that they were going to move to America someday. So they because my mom always tells me the story of my grandpa putting me in a school that wasn't English medium, and the first day of school, my mom left her job, went to school, picked me up, took me out of school, and said, "No, you're not going here," and
No,
she
no,
put me in
fuck
English medium school.
that.
Yeah, that's what she still tells me. So I'm grateful for that because I think that made all the difference today. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's little things like that that
Yeah.
change. I was just talking about it to my with my girlfriend earlier, right? I
Hmm.
forgot what we were talking about, but a little change could alter someone's life for the good or for the worse. It's like the little
Oh
things where
Definitely.
yeah.
like you're
Oh
driving
yeah, baby.
and whether you pull over in that split second you could have missed a car accident or something like that. It's so
Yeah.
weird how
Yeah.
fragile our lives are and like how much control we don't have, but also how much control we do have.
We do have. Yeah, that's crazy.
So you come in 10 years old. You speak a little bit of English, right? Um, and the culture shock's not that hard because you're younger.
Hmm.
Because I know like my girlfriend, she's a Mexican immigrant, right? But she was
Hmm.
so much younger than one of her siblings. You can't really tell. Her, like you
Okay.
said, her accent's not there and all that stuff, right? When you're going through middle school, because at 10 and 11 you're going through middle school, right?
Yeah.
How hard was it to make friends, or how hard was it? Because we know the early
Yeah.
2000s, and even today, like look what's happening on national television. It's not
Man.
Yeah.
like um, Bakersfield in general, or even people around us, don't take kindly to other people's cultures or even different things.
Sure. So yeah, I was in sixth grade, and since I came in December and started school in January, I was that brand new kid in the entire school. Everybody knew me,
Because everyone
and
already had the
that was
cliques, and everyone already had,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was this brown kid wearing Indian clothes in school. So it started off with a lot of people making fun of me right away. I remember one day my glasses broke, and then we got this like frame that was purple in color. And then one day my backpack broke, and I had to take my cousin's sister's backpack, and it was like a purple or a pink backpack. I had no idea pink or purple was like there's a girl. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I took it, and people started making fun of me. So it's like that was a tough time. But as soon as that kind of a quick phase ended, I do remember becoming like really cool at the end of the day because I remember not doing homework properly and I got like homework tickets. I got in trouble. And then I started doing homework and I started like really understanding what was going on in this culture and how to like get along. And then I
Yeah.
got an award at the end of the year for most improved kid. So I guess there was some sort of like a growth that happened within me in that period. But then it was 6 months later. So now in June, we move out of my cousin's house, and we move to Fullerton, California, and we move into our own apartment. My parents are still adjusting. They're like in their 40s and 50s, so it's way tougher for them to come to
Oh
America at
yeah.
this age, right?
Yeah.
It's way tougher. I can't complain about anything compared to what they've been through. So
Well,
like, and we finally move into this apartment of our own. My parents get a job and everything, and then I start seventh grade, and 9/11 happens,
I
and
was gonna
everything
get to
goes
that. I
down.
was gonna get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
So speak on that, because I know my recollection of a 9/11, right? I don't have a really good memory, and
I remember that shit like yesterday,
yeah,
bro.
I don't have a memory of really like anything in life. I think that there's something up there that's like there's a problem, but that's a doctor's problem. We're gonna figure that out later. My insurance is gonna cover. You know what I'm saying? But uh, so I remember being because I lived in Oildale at the time, like deep
Uh-huh.
Oildale, like where there's a Wiener Schnitzel and there's a McDonald's across the bridge. I live like more
Uh-huh.
behind the McDonald's and behind where the Dollar General is right now.
We don't go over there.
We
We
don't go
don't
over
go
there.
over there. We don't
I
go
tell
over
the story all the time.
there.
I have a friend named Tree, right? He's like 6'3", 6'4", 200 and something pounds, a big
I
guy.
hope so. If his name is
Yeah,
Tree.
yeah. But we call him Tree because
Is
we all
his
had
real
that.
name Tree?
Nah, nah, nah. I'm not gonna like air his real name
Okay.
out there like that, right? But he had because we all went through that punk rocker stage or whatever. I was like, yeah, metal, yeah, death metal, and like
Yeah, yeah.
looking back as I'm an adult now, I'm like, yo, like you were corny as fuck, Bob. Like you didn't really listen to that music. You just thought it was cool for that time period, whatever. So he had an afro. So that's why we called him Tree, because he was like tall, slender, and he had a
You
big.
got it.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I used to have like a little Honda Del Sol, little old thing, and I was like, we were in Bakersfield. I was like, yo, let me take you to where I used to. I came from. He's like, okay. So we were going through. There's like some three white guys on a bike, middle of like a Saturday, like 1 o'clock. And he said, oh, dude, lock the door, lock the door. Jokes on him. I didn't have door handles or locks, so like they couldn't get in anyways. Like you know what I'm saying? That car was a beater, bro. If I hit a bump, the
Damn.
music would cut off, and I would have to hit my knee on the speaker to hit the wire back in. But
Make it go back.
but
He had to pimp my ride. You had to
so
pimp my
there
ride.
was like a little there's like a little diner across the street from the McDonald's right there, right? And I just remember seeing it on the television, and it was like one of the craziest things in my life. Um,
Oh shit. Okay.
and just I'm like, what? I'm 24 now, so that was 10 years ago, 9 years ago. So I was no, that was
Yeah.
dude, that was
No,
19
19.
years ago. Holy shit,
Oh
bro.
one. Oh one.
Yeah,
I,
that
I
was.
remember because I have a song that it says back in '01 they used to call me Osama.
Yeah, that was on the racism project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no. There's a new one coming
Oh,
out.
okay.
I wrote this song originally, and then I got on the Racism
So
project. So
so you're barely adapting. It's barely been what, like 7, 8 months, um,
yeah.
and this happens. What are the talks that your parents give you before you go to school that day? Because I know there had to have been one. Like,
No,
no?
no, no.
Yeah,
Because you know what the funny
it
thing
happened
is?
at school.
Exactly.
Oh.
That too. That too.
It
And the
happened
other
at
thing is,
school.
we didn't fucking know what the Twin Towers were, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know where New York was. You know, I was
Mm-hmm.
still like 11 years old, and here I go to school and everybody's quiet. Everybody's like praying, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And that's when we like watch on TV, and I understand. I'm starting to understand what's going on slowly. Before I could fully understand what's going on, people are saying to me that my uncle did this, and I'm like, "Did what?" You know, I don't
That's
even know what's
fucked
going on.
up.
And like Twin Towers, and I was like, "What are the Twin Towers?" You know, and so it was completely shocked to me, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like I have no idea, and I was just like, and everybody just started making fun of me and like saying I was related to like Osama bin Laden. I was a terrorist. My uncle was Osama bin Laden. I remember and like standing in lunch lines and like people just saying weird stuff. You know, I was like, bro,
It's
like, and I
fucked
was trying to
up.
convince them too. I was like, no, man, I'm Hindu. You know, like that's not how. Like I'm here. Like my parents live in America and stuff. And I was like
Yeah.
trying to defend myself. And then yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy phase.
I remember when it happened. I had a homeboy. He came in and he was like, the they trying to blow up the whole United States, and I was like, what? And I'm like, I'm not really, into the stuff like that. I'm not watching the news, so I don't know what's going on, and
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of frightening. But I remember I had a friend that was Indian, and I'm not gonna say his name. But I remember he used to hang out with us all the time, and he had a cold ass jump shot, bro. I'm talking about he had game, dog. Like I ain't lying. Yeah, he had a jet. So I remember they tried to like give him a hard time about it, and I was always a person that, I didn't do what everybody else did, and I knew like that didn't define him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew it wasn't cool. So
Yeah.
I remember we was playing basketball, and he came out, and I was happen to be captain, and I remember the guy, like the other guy, he was talking like, I'm not about to pick him at all. Like, I don't even know why you out here. Like, that's what he said, and I kind of, man, that's fucked up, So I was like, shit, he on my team. I picked him first. I picked him over the best player over there. I picked the best player,
It's
and we
so
Damn.
won too,
it's
and we
so
won.
crazy how well in this country that we live in, we disguise patriotism and patriotic
Yeah,
ideologies in a way where we kill races. And so like we look back at World War II, we were raised that World War II is the America saved the world and America's the greatest and America's defended the world twice because we're the greatest country in the world. But we put Asian Americans in concentration camps because of what happened in the Pacific during that time.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And we ostracized. I think that's the right word. College dropout here, bro. Not really up there with the vocabulary, but we always point fingers at a certain segment of the population and be like, they're the problem. This is the
yeah.
reason. And I think, especially in the time that's happening right now, like rest in peace George Floyd and everything that's going
Mhm.
on, I think our younger generations, like people our age and younger, are just tired of it. We're
Yeah.
tired of hearing stories like AKB when he was 11, 12, not even knowing what the fuck is going on or why he's
Man.
getting bullied, right? Um, I really can't. I'm that weird. Like, I live in a very predominantly Hispanic area, right? So even in Wasco, we didn't really have racism like that.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of people in Wasco are Mexican, and then they're third and fourth generation Mexican, right? I
Mm.
had colorism. They would make fun of me because I don't speak Spanish and I don't like Mexican things, and they would make fun of me because of that.
Yeah.
So much to where, like, when I was in Spanish class, I would stick the tests in my backpack and not take them because I didn't want to embarrass myself. And I think
Mhm.
in America,
Um,
oh, dude, like it's getting to a point where we're just tired of hearing stories like this,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
we cause it. You get me? Like we,
Definitely.
and I think it goes back to like the culture thing, right? So we're gonna ask a lot of questions about your culture because we're not as intelligent or don't understand that culture. And I think I don't want you to take it as pandering or trying to figure out your culture. Same thing when I asked about other cultures. I think we're just too afraid to accept that people are different.
I think so too. On kind of a side note, that reminded me of like it's like a full circle because just like 2 days ago, I got a message from someone who's one of the fans from like northeast part of India, which is close to Nepal and China, and she looks like she's Chinese or Asian, and she tells me that since I look this way, there are people bullying me and saying that the COVID-19 situation happened because of me. And can you make a song to clear that up? And so imagine like 19 years ago, me going through something like that. And I even told her my story of what happened with 9/11 and stuff. And I kind of, did as much as I can to make her feel better about the situation or how she can move forward with the situation. But like, just think about 19 years ago that happened. Right now, the George Floyd situation is out there. The
Yeah.
Asians, the Chinese, there's people like getting beat
Full
up in
circle.
grocery stores just because they look Asians. Like COVID-19 started because of them. That's messed up. Like we gotta think about what we're doing and saying out there.
I the problem is right is there's no fix. How do we fix it
Yeah,
without tearing down a whole system? Um,
yeah,
it's I don't. I guess it's more
Man.
like of. I think it's more of fear, right? So
hmm
now that minorities are in America coming up higher, and we're, I think the words, what's the word where they put minorities into positions to fill those positions because there's not enough percentage? I think it's like affirmative action, right? There's a lot of affirmative action happening, and instead of being like, hey, I'm privileged enough that I've been in these positions, that we need to help people whose cultures and families haven't been in this position, they're looking at it as a way that they're taking what I've earned away. And it's a valid point. Like, in my opinion, it's a valid point. Like, they're scared that their stuff's getting taken away. But on the same end, the other side, we never got those opportunities.
Yeah.
So how do you put that balance into perspective where both get it? And I think as I'm getting older, I realize in situations like this, there's no balance. There's always going to be a loser. And we need to figure out how the loser is affected positively at the same time. Like when we talk about like gun rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say we don't regulate guns, people die. Say we do regulate guns, right? People die. So what do we do? So that was just a little tangent. That was a little tangent.
No, well said, man. That's true.
I mean, I see things. This has been happening forever, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna continue to happen.
I 100% agree. But I think. Oh, you go first.
I mean, I don't. It's just different now because you got a camera on every street corner. Everybody has a camera in their pocket. You kind of got a little, inside of it when the Rodney King incident happened. You know, this kind of reminds me of that situation a little bit. Maybe a little bit worse than that because you have everybody doing it from different cities now. You don't just have one city rioting. Like you got multiple cities that's doing it.
If I'm correct, Bakersfield's still protesting and
they're still doing it right now.
Yeah,
right now.
And
so I mean, my whole thing is, it's we living in a time where things are trendy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people don't do things just because of how they feel. They do it because of what everybody else is doing. And I see things, and I watch the news, and I feel like some of the stuff that's going on. I know it's a lot of people out there on the front line, but I know it's people out there that's using this situation, to get it, to get advanced, or to do a little bit of something, taking advantage of the situation, and that's a bad look, man. Yeah, that's a bad look. I mean, of course, you don't want to. You see people breaking shit, and I guess, my whole thing is if I'm protesting, I want to protest, and I want to make my vision clear on how I feel, but I don't want to do anything that's gonna get me in trouble either, though. Sure. I don't want to look like a fool or look retarded doing something when I'm not. When I'm out here, no, I'm just saying, like when I'm out here, actually trying to make a change or make a situation something, make a point.
Make it worse.
Yeah, make it. I don't want to make it worse.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, man, I don't see nothing wrong in protesting, but when you got, when you doing shit to get in trouble or to make us look worse, like I'm not really with that. I'm not really with that at all, man, and that's why I have a problem with.
I think at the end of the day, right, the good and the bad, and let's just be honest, we're in a media consumption world where the media controls the narrative because we have access to the media 24/7. It's a again, we go back to the good and the bad in things, right? We can hear the good news all the time, but the bad news has clicks.
Yeah.
So I was at the protest in Bakersfield. I've seen the videos about the lady getting ran over.
Yeah.
So many people are talking about, well, you shouldn't have blocked the street off. They didn't see the video of the guy doing donuts right next to them.
Man, because he sure was.
And then
he definitely was.
The police officers pulled him over. And then he insinuated for the protesters to come near him. So the protesters went near him, and then he ran this 15-year-old girl over. So things like that are like,
Yeah.
but I agree, but I think these times are different.
Definitely.
When Berlin is calling for police brutality reform in America, when there's people in UK doing it, when I think it's a uniformity where it's not just about the reform for one specific race. I think when we get behind something like this, right, it affects us all. And as someone who directly gets paid off of a culture, I should be there to help that culture because it helps me every single day. Same thing like AKB's an Indian dentist rapper, but he's a rapper in a black culture. And I know this probably affects you to the core because you're part of this. We're all a part of this. You get me?
Yeah.
So, that was a little note. I don't want to get too much into it because, dude, yesterday when I was at the protest, I couldn't speak. Like it was so emotional. It was so, there was so much emotion and there was so much just, feelings and just love for one another. There was water there for anyone who needed water. There was water there. Gatorades. There was people would come up. Do you need a sign? Which sign do you want? Oh, do you have a mask? Okay. They were chanting. They were just doing because they felt. I just felt the pain.
Yeah.
Oh, do it. You know, I'm just gonna do a tear. So, 9/11 happens, right? Does it change your perspective on America at that point? Because you've been bullied for purple glasses, which when I was that age, that was swag. People were saying like, yo, that is fire right there.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I was a little too early on that shit, man. People were like, that shit's whack. And then people started carrying that shit. And then pink became the thing when I was in high school. People were wearing pink tops, and I had a pink t-shirt. Yeah, it was Kanye. I was like, when I did it, you guys didn't like it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it did. I think that's where I get my like I don't know, energy or like fuel to like fight back or like become this rapper and like talk shit on my music and like have this alter ego on the microphone and be like, you know what, I'm the shit now. Because I do feel like there's one thing that describes me, my phase right now in life is going from fitting in to standing out. And shout out to Drake is the one who said this in one of the songs, I believe, 9 a.m. in Dallas. From fitting in to standing out, that describes completely exactly where I'm at right now. It's like when I first came to America, man, they made fun of me. They didn't like me. They didn't know, like, you know, where I was from. They didn't understand me. I had, like, from Mexican people calling me things like pinche indio and stuff like that, like when I'm walking by doing nothing. And, like, just making fun of me, like cockroach and all that stuff, like in Spanish and stuff. From that point, even Indian people making fun of me, even like people who are my friends today, I remember making fun of me because I was like younger than them, or like I was just the one they picked on at that time, you know? And so, and then just continuously going on, 9/11 happens, all this stuff happens. It, slowly in high school, 9th grade, 10th grade, by 11th grade, I start becoming normal. Now I can make friends and I have like really good best friends, like, you know, that I'm like really bonding with, and I have my own circle, and like they're respecting me and I respect them, and now we have this love, and they're still my friends, they're still my homies, they're in my music videos and stuff like that, you know. And that's when I start to like fit in. Then I go to dental school, I become a dentist, I come to America, I start making music videos, all this stuff, and now I'm starting to stand out from that crowd. And so that's exactly where I fit in right now. You know, it's like just from fitting in to standing out. That's my phase of life, and that's where I stand right now. So I feel like it did kind of fuel me to become this person today. I would guess so.
You got
the evolution of the evolution of AKB, the evolution.
I got a question about alcohol because I don't drink, and I see you just put a drink up, right? So you. I got my coffee over here. Well, I finished my coffee, but when you put the ice cubes in it, right, it waters down the alcohol. Do you do that?
Yeah.
Do you do that because the alcohol is so strong, and then, or is it just to make it colder?
No, there's different reasons. I'm like I love drinking, and I like to drink like different varieties of things. So I was taught this by one of my colleagues. When you drink like whiskey or like scotch or something like that, you order it neat at first. Neat is completely, there's nothing else in it. It's just the pure from the bottle. Then you take a sip and you taste it, and it has a smoky flavor to it. As soon as you take, and then he told me, grab a straw out of like my water cup, grab a straw and has this drop of water, add it to the whiskey. And I added it to it, and it changes the flavor just slightly. Just a little bit of water, like one drop. And then he says, now add one small little ice cube and keep adding ice cubes until you like the flavor to be where you want it to be. The smokiness starts to kind of go away, and you kind of find this little, like little area basically where you want your drink to be at. So now I know, like, if I'm drinking Jameson and ginger ale, I put like this with Jameson, just like slightly ginger ale on top, just to give it that little sweetness. If I'm drinking like single malt scotch, I'll put just the ice cube in there, maybe a little bit of club soda. Maybe some days I'll be just with the ice cube because I don't like it to be too smoky. And some people don't put any ice at all because they love it to be extra smoky, you know?
I need, baby. I drink mine hot out the bottle, baby.
Straight, yeah.
Hot out the bottle.
I have an obsessive attitude, right? So like I'd like buy ice cube trays, and I would find the perfect ice cube tray for me, right, for the amount of ice cubes I want. And then like if it broke or something, I wouldn't drink ever again because I'm like, I'll never get that taste again. It's over. I don't want it. So like, yeah, dude, like I'm super obsessive with like certain things.
So I would say I'm kind of like that because I have this ice cube. You can't see it now; it's kind of melted. But there's I gotta have a big ass rock in my drink.
Yes,
it's one big rock. It can't be like a bunch of small rocks or something. It's got to be one big ass rock.
So you got that refrigerator that come with the big old ice cube. Make the big ice cubes.
I bought the trays from like Walmart or something like that. It came with yeah.
They sell trays like that.
Yeah, they do.
I didn't know that.
They sell circles too. I want to buy that sphere ice cubes.
Yeah,
that's just bomb.
I want to get one of those mugs that have liquid inside of it. You put it in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? You make
it drink cold without. You make it drink cold without the ice cube.
It's one of those things, bro. Like when I was younger, we had one, but I was never allowed to drink it. It was like some yellow one, right? Mm-hmm. And then when like I moved out, you just like continue to be an adult, and then you're like, dude, I want to get that, and it's only like $4, but you still don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to get my dog like an elevated bed so she could like chill right here while I play video games. You know what I'm saying? Sammy's looking at me all crazy, but Sammy just got another puppy, so like he understands. Like
yeah. I get it.
We bought my dog like a big ass bone like this big, right? And it's like when we go to bed, we're like, hey, go get your bone, and she'll start freaking out. She's like, where the fuck is my bone? Where the fuck is my bone? And she'll go grab it and take it to bed. Cutest shit ever. But anyways, so 9/11 happens. You come back, right? I mean, not come back. Mm-hmm. Your perspective on America is changing because you've already been getting, you've been pushed to the edge, basically, right? Out of the circles of everyone else. And 9/11's making it worse. Is this around the time you start listening to hip-hop?
No, I started listening to hip-hop when I was in 6th grade when I first moved to America.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I
talked about this.
I don't get your age. So, what?
I am 10 years old when I come to America.
Okay.
I turned 11 right when I finished 6th grade, and we moved to an apartment, and we start 7th grade right before 9/11 happens. I turned 11.
So 6th grade hip hop. Could you remember the first hip hop song you ever listened to?
Yeah, I talked about this on the radio station, man. Get Your Freak On, Missy Elliott.
Hey, that's a nice song. I got my
now
freak on.
I understand what that song is about, man. I had no idea what that song was about.
I done got my freak on a couple of times to that song. Yeah.
Oh, bro, you know what it is?
Say today. I've got my freak on a couple times today.
You know what it really was? It was the music. It was the beat behind it. And obviously it was Missy Elliott too, but the music really connected because it is kind of an Indian beat. And when I was in India, I still remember I was playing with like small little cassettes that like with movies, like Indian movies came with like all these soundtracks. And I still even remember like Indian movie songs from all the way back then, like 1995, 1996. I remember I used to play with the cassettes. I used to play music, and I used to sing along to those songs. So music was in me from the very beginning. So I feel like that was a big part that carried over. And then as soon as I came to America, we heard "Get Your Freak On." Me and my brother would sit on the bed at my cousin's place, and we'd be like waiting for the radio station to play "Get Your Freak On." And I remember they would always play it. They would always play it at like 9 or 9:30 because it was the pop. It was like the most popping song at that time, and it would always come on, and we'd get super happy to hear it. And that's how I fell in love with hip hop. And then my older cousins, they introduced us to Nelly. And that's Nelly and Fabulous and stuff. So like that's when everything hit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Fab was popping back in 2001.
Yeah, that was like
rhyming king, man.
Yeah. Fabulous dropped his debut on 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember a couple years ago I was on Instagram because Fabulous is personally in my top 5 favorite rappers of all time.
Dang. Okay. That's good to know.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I won't argue with that, Bob.
Yeah, Fabulous is. I would say I still get inspiration to rhyme from Fabulous. Me and my friend used to be like, bro, he just rhymed that word with that word with that word with that word with that. It's just like when I write, I want to bring out my rhyme game, not only just like the lyrical bars and stuff like that. I want to like show like multiple creativities behind the bars, rhyming a single word with the other, just like kind of Eminem. That's when I got introduced to Eminem too, with like Encore, the album drop and stuff. So I was just like, I would say Fabulous is my top 5 favorite old school rappers as well.
Oh no, my top 5, bro.
Like all time.
Yeah, I've been listening. Okay. Well, I'm also like.
He just came out with a song, right?
No, I did not. Today.
And it was pretty good. No, it was like 2 months ago, and it was actually pretty good.
You're talking about Choosy with Jeremiah? No. I don't know which one you're talking about. Then.
Maybe. But
I thought he came out with a whole album. I thought he came out with a whole little mixtape.
He did come out with something. He still got it, man.
He came out with Cold Winter a couple weeks ago. Maybe that was it. I'm not too sure.
Maybe that was it, yeah.
I'm gonna go back into like I'm not really into music like how I used to be either. Like,
yeah, true.
When I get onto Spotify
I know what you mean.
or something, I'll listen to podcasts before I go look for an artist like music. Sammy scratching his head like he got dreads under there still, but he don't.
Don't remind me, Bob. Oh, he's gonna make me mad. Don't do that.
We'll talk about that later. But, so you hear Missy Elliott's "Get Your Freak On," right? Which is crazy.
Dope.
You're like, yo, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Watch your mouth. It's off when I spit it out in your face.
I still listen to that shit, man.
Yeah, that shit slash. Missy Elliott had bars. Yeah, bars.
You're in high school now, right? Did you guys move to Bakersfield during this time?
No, I just moved to Bakersfield 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I was in Fullerton. I was in Orange County, 10 to 18. 10 years to 18 years of age. I was in Orange County, Fullerton, California.
You went to a big city then. Like
Fullerton, California, next to Anaheim. Yeah, kind of not as big as like Los Angeles or anything like that. So like Fullerton,
everything's like 4 or 5 blocks away from each other in those cities, that little area, right?
Yeah.
So like
definitely.
Like, sorry, this is like Bakersfield mentality, right? Once you get into like the top of like LA County, all the way until you hit Oceanside, to me is like the same. It's all there.
It is.
Everything is connected.
It is.
It's like one street away from each other where different cities.
You don't know if you're in Anaheim or Fullerton. It's like one light away. Yeah. I kind of didn't like that. Now, as I get older, I liked it when I was there. But now as I get older, I'm like, bro, Bakersfield is so awesome. Like, I know where it ends. I know where Shafter starts. I know where, Grapevine is. And I know, like, which way to go. And I feel so much safer here now. I feel like that's happening because the city I lived in India for 5 years was like Bakersfield. It had like own borders. And, like, it was quiet and it was, like, safe. And it was just, like, I had my home there, So I feel Bakersfield is home to me after growing up in Los Angeles area. And then I went to school in San Francisco. So I was like, I can't settle down in these cities, man. I gotta go to
high school. Is anything different? Like, you have friends now. There's still that constant, like, oh, he's a different type of person. Like, he's different than us, even though you have friends.
Yeah, no, definitely. I never fit in. There were always people cooler than me that wanted to not associate with me, basically. I imagine people's faces right now that did not want to talk to me or associate, just... They didn't want to be involved with me. I didn't think I was as cool as them. So
now is the next segment we're going to AKB's most hated friends from high school. I'm going to go to the next slide.
Yeah, let's go. I got their Facebooks up right here.
Below.
What's up now?
So high school is different, man. So like when I went into high school, I freshman year, bro.
Yeah.
Look, I don't got hair right now. I'm not gonna show y'all. I'm balding. I wanted to shave earlier, but I didn't. Maybe the next podcast I'll shave and
You got the
we,
cul-de-sac going on. You got the
bro.
cul-de-sac
It's
fade.
it's not there yet. It's like the dirt road is heading into the cul-de-sac, but the cul-de-sac's
Oh,
paved
okay.
still. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
but uh,
We got the loose gravel. The
so
loose
in going
gravel.
into freshman year in high school, I had an afro, bro,
Oh
curly, everything,
shit!
bro.
I think he
I can
showed me a
imagine
picture
that.
of you when you.
Yeah,
I think he showed me
yeah, and
that
I was like
picture,
super punk rocker, like Metallica
bro.
shirts,
Totally
like
different.
totally different.
Totally different.
And
Yeah.
so I had that little crowd that we hang out with each other and we like
Yeah.
that, right? But like as I progressed into high school, um, I was kind of that weird kid who like I had a group of friends, but like everyone kind of still rocked with me. But then
Yeah.
like I'm a little bit shorter, so I had to have like bigger guys help me out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's my boy right there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but high school is just different, and it really shows you like who you're becoming. I like really started fucking with hip hop then, and then like I started wearing shorts and like I was just like the cool kid. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm not the
Yeah.
cool kid. Like, and it's that weird like false of like it's like an illusion. Once you get out of high school, you understand like none of that really matters. And
Mhm.
Exactly,
I
bro.
think that's where
Fuck.
you
Fuck,
as a
Bob. Say
person.
it again, Bob. Say it
Yeah, yeah,
again.
yeah.
Say it again.
You
Nothing fucking matters after high school.
you as a person, like we're talking about the traumas that came out of high school and from 9/11 above, right?
Mhm.
But you didn't let that stay into you or change who you are, because I feel like you're one of the most positive, well-spoken people I've ever even talked to, ever talked to.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Every
real
time
talk.
I come around you, right, it's always like super positive and super like, yo, you can do this shit. Like
Yeah.
you can. So
After talking to AKB in person, I said, you know what, you right. You're
after
right
becoming the
there.
radio
I said,
station, bro,
yeah, I said,
right?
you know what, you right. I can.
I
You,
ran
you
50
right.
miles and I don't run. No, I'm just,
Oh shit.
no, I'm just kidding. I don't really run, bro.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah, I really
damn,
don't.
nice.
I ran across the street this morning walking my dog, and my dog looked at me like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know, bro."
We
But
don't do this. What
my
do you?
dog's like, "What? The, what?"
We don't do this.
So, out of high school, right? You go straight to college. I'm guessing.
Mhm.
Was that a personal choice, or was that like, I'm here, I have to go to college?
No, so it was a little confusing. I had to make up my mind. In high school, I remember 11th and 12th grade, I started to become. I had my own circle now. You know, I didn't have to associate with those people who didn't want to associate with me. But I did get like a variety of friends, and I was happy with those people. You know, and so I got accepted. I felt because like I had great friends that are still my friends, and
Mm-hmm.
so at that time, I started telling my other friends, I was like, bro, we got to buy this production machine. Let's start making beats. We were watching MTV, where MTV used to put music videos up all the time. And we used to
Mm-hmm.
be like, let's go watch that show. Let's go listen to the song. Let's go watch this music video, you know? And so I used to be so inspired. I used to be like, man, let's start this rap group, and you can rap, and I'll make this beat, and I'll do this, and I'll do that. I was always like so much. I always wanted this. I want to say I always wanted this because at 12 years old I started writing lyrics. Like when I was, I believe, eighth grade, ninth grade, I started writing lyrics. And the first song, like I said, I wrote about Kobe Bryant, and then I just kept on getting more motivation towards this happening, but it never happened. So
Uh-huh.
by the time I graduated high school, I was like, and my parents started telling me that it would be nice if I became a doctor of some sort. They
Yeah.
wanted to guide me in that direction, and it
Were they
wasn't a
doctors or their profession in
no.
medical?
Well, my parents moved to America when they were like in their 50s, right? 45, 50. So they, whatever they were in India was no longer valid here in America. So they had to
Oh.
start all over again. My
Okay.
mom
Okay.
started working at a
Fuck.
fast food restaurant and cutting
Fuck.
meat, and she doesn't eat meat, you know, and it would make her like eyes tear up. So seeing that happen, and I worked at that same place at that fast food place, Quiznos. And my dad started at Fry's Electronics. He was a manager in the TV section, and like they had to start up from all over, you know, because they
Fuck.
were bosses like in India. They were doing good in India, but they came to America for their kids. So I feel like I have this thing where I gotta make it and I gotta do whatever I can to like make them proud, you know, at the end of the day. So I think I always had that in me from when I graduated high school. And then when they told me that I should go to India to become a doctor or a dentist or whatever I choose to be, and I chose to be a dentist, I said, you know what? I'm not sure. I need a year off. I need to go to college in America first to figure it out. So I graduated high school in 2007, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to India, and they respected that. They said, you know, they don't want to force me to become something that I don't want to be. So I started doing college. I went to Fullerton JC Junior College, and I started taking classes, math classes, this and that, and then I ended up starting ditching those classes. And we
Yeah,
went to the movies, and we
Sound,
went to
sound
go
like
play
me.
basketball.
bro.
Yeah,
Sound like
and
me.
Yeah.
and we got into a couple of things that we didn't want to get into, you know. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I know.
so luckily, six months into my year off, I was like, I need to go to India. If I go to India for 5 years and I come back as a dentist, I'm down. That's dope. Like I'll do it. Fuck it. Like let's get at it. Let's go. You know. And I convinced myself, and this is the best decision I've ever made because then I went to India. I became who I am today. And if I didn't become a dentist, man, I wouldn't be a rapper today. We wouldn't be talking today. So
So, why make the decision to go to India to pursue dentistry work instead of doing it here in America?
couple of reasons. One, it's very, very affordable to go
Oh,
to India and pay the admission there. I don't have a postgraduate loan right now. I do have the loan that I went to school here for, but I don't have a postgraduate loan. I mean pre-graduate loan. Um, and then second thing is that in America they don't allow you to go straight to dental school right after high school. You have to do you have to go to JC and then university and
Man.
finish all these GEs and stuff. In India, you can go straight to dental school if you know that you want to become a dentist. You can go straight to dental school right after high school. So that's one thing I saved 3 or 4 years because of that. And then another thing, I saw friends and family members that didn't go to India for the first like 4 or 5 years after graduating high school, and they did not end up achieving anything staying here in America. They just partied their ass off, you know?
yeah.
And I saw them, and then they decided to go to India for 5 years. So they were 5 years older than me, and I decided to go to India 5 years earlier. So I became a dentist 5 years earlier than them comparatively. And I said, you know what? You partied for 5 years, and then you chose to go to India for 5 years to become a dentist. I'll go to India first for 5 years, and then I'll come back and I'll do whatever I want to do, which is now. Now I can rap, you know?
So your hustle and your morals are unexplainable. Do you think your parents really guided you and sat you down like, yo, like this is how to do life, or is it more of like I on the outside looking in, my parents struggled, so I want to go and pursue this?
I think it was a little bit of both because my parents did guide me into becoming a dentist and going into that medical field. My uncle is a dentist. My other uncle's wife is a dentist. Their two kids are dentists. So I saw the life that a dentist has, right? The ownership behind your owning your own practice, the hours that you're working, the weekends you're getting off, the money that you're making, all that stuff I saw as a kid. And then I started to realize what my parents were saying was they wanted the best for me, right? At the end of the day. So I started to just accept that fact, and I said, you know what? I'll go to India and I'll become a dentist. So that was it. And then at the end of the day, right after that, it was also that since my parents have struggled to move to America and do, all these things that they had to sacrifice in India just to give us a better life, then I need to do whatever it takes to give them a better life at the end of the day. And if that means becoming a dentist and then working, saving money, becoming a rapper, and providing as much as I can for them, then that's what it is. So I think it's like 50-50.
So you go to India, right? Is it
Mm-hmm.
like a re-culture shock, or have you guys been visiting?
No.
So you go when you're like
Yeah.
you're wearing like purple swagged out clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Shirts this time. I got spiky hair.
You got
Spike
spiky
like I
hair?
got purple.
Did you get the frosted
Yeah.
tips? Come on, don't lie to me. You got the frosted tips.
I like spiky from the back and everything, man. And they were
Okay.
like, "Bro, you look weird, man."
So
No, it was a culture shock. Again,
that's so
they thought I was
crazy.
weird.
Like I think
Yeah.
I think my little culture shocks were like going from Wasco to Bakersfield, right? And to
Yeah.
everyone else, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But like we had 3 stoplights. Like
Hmm.
going to traffic out here, bro, is crazy. I don't want to leave my
Yeah.
little area that I live in right here. Like I live in Stockton.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
Uh huh.
okay, we're going to Smart and Final, which is like a
And
block
that's
away.
it.
We're
Uh
coming
huh.
back. Like,
Little Chick-fil-A. Little Chick-fil-A.
nah, dude, the
Ooh.
lines
Gotta
are
go
too
to,
crazy, bro. I'm from a small town.
you
If
know
there's
what?
two
Yeah, that's
cars in the
right.
line in
That's
Wasco,
right.
I'm going to a different restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
Damn.
think
Okay.
I can't really say I haven't really had a culture shock like that because I've been in Bakersfield my whole life and I haven't been out the country. But I would say I had two experiences. I went to Kentucky one time and Lexington, and that was totally different for me. As far as like California and everybody's more to themselves. Not spoke, don't get spoken to unless you speak to them first, and
Yeah.
but out there they were more hospitality. Hey, how you doing? How's your
Yeah.
day? And it was kind of almost like, hold on, like, do I know you? And I
Yeah.
had to think about it, like, that's how they get down, and they were even asking us to come eat, like, you want to
Wow.
come over and eat? I know you're not from here.
Nah, I've seen Get
You're from
Out.
California,
Nah, I'm good.
and I'm like, nah, I'm cool. And then another time I went to Chicago, and Chicago was, I think I might have been in high school when I first went, and by myself. And out there, hood stuff is a little bit different than
Oh yeah.
California.
Yeah.
You get passes out here, and you won't get passes for out there. And it's like little shit. And I remember I had my hat on, and my brother-in-law, he's from a specific gang in a specific area, and it's where I was at. But he's older now. He don't, he's not active or anything like that. But once you have those ties, they're embedded in you. You really
Uh-huh.
can't, once you can't shake that stuff once you win it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I wore my hat a certain way.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you
Mm.
can't do that out there.
Yeah.
It's either straightforward or you ain't wearing no hat at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you wear it to the right, to the left, or to the back, or that symbolizes what hood you from, you know? And I had my hat on. I'm from California. I might have had it backwards and like cocked to the left or something. And
Oh,
he was
you one
like,
of
he
them?
snatched the hat off. He snatched the hat off. Boy, what you doing, man? You can't be wearing your hat over there like this. You
Wow.
can get killed over here like that. I'm like, what? But that
Dang.
was kind of different to me. That was a little bit
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. That's scary.
yeah,
I think like for me, it's so crazy the different types of culture, just like 4 hours north or 4 5 hours. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's like this in India, right? I'm guessing it is
Mhm.
because there's
It is.
India's a huge country, right?
Yeah.
And again, this goes back to like how little we know about other cultures in America. Um, I bet you it's so different between the different religions out there and just the different regions. Uh,
Yeah.
it's the world's crazy, bro. Humans are crazy. This
Yeah.
shit's just amazing and beautiful, and I hate that
And there's a lot of us.
yeah, and I hate how we just destroy everything, man.
Yeah.
Like I want to
Yeah.
learn about this shit for the rest of my life. If I could find a job that doesn't require me to go to college, because I hate formal education to a fucking T, like everything about it, bro. Like
Mhm.
I think you'll do good in school, Bob. Though if you went now,
it'd be my fourth time back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you'll
let's
do
go.
good though.
Um, I just don't think I would have the motivation. There's a difference between like knowing I have the intelligence and the knowledge, and having the motivation to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how to
Yeah.
wash the dishes, but do I really want to do
Do I
that?
want to?
You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm saying?
feel.
Like,
Is there
I
something
get
better
it.
I could be doing?
exactly.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
And then like you get into the philosophy, like what is the term better? You get me? Like I
Yeah.
could play video games and it's enjoyment, but is it making sure my like kitchen's clean or whatever? You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole
Yeah. Is
different
it
thing.
fulfillment? Yeah.
Fulfillment, but
Yeah.
fulfillment between yeah. Like
Like enjoyment.
so you go to college in India, you do 4 to 5 years, right? Or 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
5 years. You come back to America. When do you start rapping?
Yeah. So taking a step back, like you said, adapting was my key word throughout life. Like 1 through 10, I was in India. I grew up in India as an Indian kid, pure Indian kid. I was taken to America, did not know what an airplane looks like. When we walked into the airplane, we didn't know we were in the airplane, literally, like, because you go through that thing and you just end up inside the plane. It's like 10
Yeah,
years old, I land in LA. I have a tough time, go through 9/11, and finally I become this normal kid and accepted in America. And everybody in America waits to turn 18, right? Because then you can go out
Yeah.
and do a bunch of shit. So as I turn 18, I leave to India a month later, and so now I'm this American kid who Americanized. Like I have these things where I eat meat and I'm like a normal American kid that I listen to hip hop and I have these ambitions. I do this. Now I go to India for 5 years. Now I have to adapt again to the culture over there. What they were like. And it was like going through high school all over again for those 5 years. I had such a great time in my college. We had a great time. We had a lot of tough times, fitting in, people bullying again, and then fights and like all these things that we went through that just made me a bigger person at the end of the day. And then at the end of 5 years, I graduated on top of my class. I did pretty well in dental school because I really liked what I was studying and doing. I did well, and then I finally graduated, came to America, and then again it was like, damn. Now I have an accent. I kind of had an accent because the English that you talk in India with some of your friends that are from India that talk English is different than this. I can't just naturally talk English to them like this. I have to talk in a different accent so they understand. And so when I come back and I start having that accent, so yeah, it was a little bit of a adaptation again. Now I have to adapt to America, and now I have to apply to dental schools in America where it's like 1,000 people apply or 1,500 people apply, and like 20 people get accepted into school.
So
And there's only like
you
20
go to
seats.
India to dentist school over there, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't carry over here. You just
No, you have to do 2 years to convert the degree.
but it just makes it easier over here because you already have that certificate or
Yeah, I
that
don't have to
degree.
do the full dental school program. I have to do this international dental program. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
kind of like a specialty on top of like becoming a dentist over here in America.
And
Yeah.
you talk about the 1,000 people, right? Does it make it easier because you're like an immigrant or you have a degree from outside? So like when I was doing this CO program, right? Which stupid me. Why did I try to do
Mhm.
that? Um, uh, police officers automatically got 100% on the test. They were supposed or ex-military people got 100% on the test. They
Oh
just
wow.
yeah, and your test scores determined how high or the rank you would go into like the school or whatever, right? Like if you were to
Mm.
go in sooner. So if I was in the military, and I came into the test, I'd be bumped up higher than anyone
You'd
else.
be higher. Yeah.
So is that kind of how like the system went over there?
No, not at all. Because everybody that applied, all the 1,500 applicants were international dental students. So there's
Oh,
people from India, there's people from Switzerland, there's people from the Caribbeans, there's people from so there's a lot of people from America that go to the Caribbeans or India or like there's a bunch of countries where you can go like European countries, except that you can go to dental school or medical school right after high school.
uh huh.
So it was everybody that was applying was an international student, basically. So it was actually tougher to get admission in America that way. And luckily, we all got admission the first cycle, but it did take about 2 years to start school. And I started school in about 2015. Yeah, 2015, I started school. So this was 2013, though, when I started applying and I came back from India. And then around 2013, ending 2014, I'm still applying to dental school and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. That's when I start really thinking that I want to do something else too on the side. That's when I start this brand called CVO Motion. CVO stands for California's very own motion, and I was inspired by Drake. He was my most like inspired person that I looked up to. I got inspiration from him the most, and I was like, he has OVO, October's very own, and I said, you know what, I want to be California's very own motion, where my goal is to leave a legacy behind that tells people that you should always stay in motion. It's like like Einstein said, like life is like a bicycle. If you stop pedaling, you're gonna fall. You have to stay in motion.
Yeah.
So it's like that's where I got that inspiration from, and I started making music videos. And me and my friends, and my friends like they supported me from the beginning. I threw this idea out just like that. I was like, yo, what if I made music videos to Drake songs? Because I want to dance, I want to choreograph, I want to
Oh,
make a
okay.
nice music
So you
video.
you would like
And
do
so
a
like
cover video.
exactly, no, I wouldn't even sing the song. I would leave his song completely on. I
Oh,
wouldn't. I didn't. I never believed I could rap. I never
yeah.
thought I could get on the microphone and like actually sound good. I never had that much confidence at that time. And so I was like, you know what? I'll take Drake's song and I'll give you my perspective of what he means. And so I made 3 music videos, and my friends always accepted. Like they're like, yeah, man, that'd be cool. Let's go do this. And we literally built a wall in my backyard in Fullerton, my parents' backyard. We bought like 500 cinder blocks from Home Depot. We brought them
Damn.
home. We made a wall stand just so in the music video I could break the wall and go through it, because that was the message behind that.
Did that hurt?
I always had a wall. No, we made it. They made it so well that it just broke, and it's crazy. It's like the message was that I had this wall in my head that I can never be famous and I can never be whatever I want to be. I can't dance and I can't be on YouTube and I can't become a rapper and I can't do this. I'm Indian. I'm brown. I'm a kid that's trying to fit in, you
Yeah.
know? And that wall was broken down to me by like my wife, my brother, my family, and my friends who supported me and said, "Bro, just do whatever you want to do." And so that's when I started to realize, I was like, man, I could do whatever I want to do. And that's when I started filming, and I made videos and stuff. And then I get admission in San Francisco, and I start dental school, and I lose the time to actually make more videos. I've made 3 until now,
Uh-huh.
and I stopped making them because I start school now, and school is like taking away all my time. And so I stopped making music videos. And once I graduate, that's when I start writing lyrics. When I moved to Bakersfield is when I started writing lyrics at first.
So I'm listening to your story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Emphasize how important it is to have good people who support you around you. Because
Please,
Man,
every single time, every story we're talking about,
please,
right? You talk about there's someone around you who helped you or gave you
for sure.
confidence.
yo, everything. I had no confidence. I was not this person who you're talking to right now. I was so shy. I would never do things on TV or be on YouTube or sing songs or like talk shit on my rap songs or anything like that. Now I can truly be me. And it started with like being in India. I used to listen to Drake songs, and I used to have like all these friends come over into my room just like this, and like we'd sit down, we'd be drinking, and I'd play them new Drake songs that just came out, and I was like, bro, this song is so sick. And when he says this, he means this, and this is a double entendre, and this this
Yeah.
this is the story that happened here. And I'd be saying so much shit that they all started saying. My brother was the first one who said, "Yo, why don't you just make a YouTube video of you explaining what this song is about? Because it's so interesting." And I was like, I can do that. Like, I'm allowed to do that culturally. My
Mm-hmm.
brother will allow me to do that. As an Indian, I'm allowed to do that. That's what happened. That's the wall breaking down first. So that's why I started making music videos on Drake songs, trying to explain what he means, right? And then slowly, like my wife, at that time, she was my girlfriend, and she said, do whatever you feel like doing. Like, if it makes you happy, just move, like take the step and go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter like what other people think. Just do what makes you happy. And then my friends, like I said, like when I threw this idea out just like that, they were like, yeah, let's go. And then they literally went and bought 500 cinder blocks, and we made a wall at my house, and we had so much fun just doing it, and we stayed in motion with that. And now I don't have to make music videos to Drake songs. I got my own songs.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. So a lot of my friends they really backed off because I haven't really been like we've been haven't been doing the podcast. There's been like I want to say like mental health issues on my side, the unmotivationness of it, global pandemic. It's just a lot of reasons to
Yeah.
not do it, right?
Hmm.
Instead of finding that one reason to do it. And
Mhm.
really, Sammy, I messaged you, AKB. We're recording on a Saturday night. I messaged you what, Thursday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the day I decided. I was like, fuck it, let's go. Let's just do it.
Nice.
I was like,
I'm glad you did, man.
so
Thank you for
I
having me here.
hit you, and then I
but
also hit Sammy. Sammy's like, bro,
yes,
like
and
what?
see, and my whole thing is this, Bob. Sidebar.
Yeah,
You know, uh, like you said, like AKB said, you gotta stay in motion, baby.
yeah,
You know, and it
Stay in
don't.
motion.
We might fall off. We might fall off a little bit. But we knew where our mind was at. We knew where our heart was at, and we back, baby.
that's exactly
There you
it.
go.
We back. We back.
So a lot of my
You didn't.
friends
Yeah.
would be like, "Hey, we love this man. It's a different perspective. Yada yada yada. All this stuff, right?" When Spotify at the beginning of the year came around, it would tell people how many hours they listened to an artist or whatever, right? We were like
Hmm.
in people's top three most listened podcasts, and all this stuff, right? And all this
Nice.
motivation of like people close to me, like I listen to it when I'm at work. I'm listening to it at this, right?
Yeah.
And it's the motivation like that, like a lot of people that we know personally and like we work with, I'm scared to listen or look at their content.
Hmm.
But because it's like this idea of like I think of them like this, what if it doesn't meet that standard, right?
Oh yeah.
So if I feel like that and there's people around me who are like, no, what he does is great, we're gonna listen to it, right? And we're gonna do
Hmm.
that. It brings some
Hmm.
confidence inside of me because on one side, me, I'm judging people, and these people are probably judging my stuff, but they enjoy
Yeah.
it. They
Yeah.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
and it's that weird thing where it's
Definitely.
Definitely.
like these people that are around me support what I do. So now I feel like
Hmm.
I have to do it for them and bring them compelling stories like yours and a different perspective like yours, right? To show these people where
Yeah.
I'm from, which is Wasco, which There was we talk about the majority of race in America's white people. There's like 4 white
Uh-huh.
people in Wasco. You know what I'm saying? There's like
Yeah,
there's like 5 black families in Wasco.
yeah,
Like,
Agreed.
and even me, I'm different than most people in Wasco. You get me? Which brings
yeah.
me to another
Agreed.
thing.
Agreed.
In the Mexican culture, the Latino and Hispanic culture, right? They do this thing called Spanglish, where they break into
Hmm.
like English and Spanish. Does your culture do that at all? Like your native language, and they mix it in
Yeah,
with
yeah,
English?
definitely. Yeah, there's some words that I don't know how to say in Hindi. I just say the English word, and then there's some words that yeah, yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. And then especially with rap right now, Hindi is the national language of India, and Hindi rap is on the rise, bro. Like it's literally like beef has been happening, like Biggie and Tupac type beef
That's
that's been
fire.
happening in East Coast, West Coast. That's happening right now. So hip hop is like number one right now in India, bro. Like it's crazy, and it's perfect time for me because I'm the only Indian dentist rapper in the entire world that raps in
That's
English, and I
dope.
do Hindi now. And like I just released my second Hindi song, and my first one did really, really well. And I get a bunch of comments that say just make more in Hindi, more in Hindi, more in Hindi. So I've been trying to make like as much as I can. So like yeah, and it's not completely all Hindi. I definitely use some English words because I have no idea sometimes how to say a few words in Hindi, and. So it's a mix and match, just like Spanglish.
So you're out of you come to America. You move to Bakersfield, right, to finish
Hmm.
your dentistry schooling, correct?
Hmm.
Um, when you're like, you know what, I'm actually gonna try to rap. Like these are the first bars I'm gonna write. I'm gonna order
Yeah,
that nice notebook. Like I got a nice notebook right here, right? Um,
yeah.
like I'm gonna order one of these bad boys and write my lyrics down. Mind you, this is like a journal that was supposed to start like 7 months ago or something. Got 2 entries in and just it looks nice. Like I don't
Stay
want to
in
ruin
motion, man.
it.
So yeah, I could get to that. Before that though, you know how you said support from friends and stuff like that. There was one point that was in my head. I'll give you a different perspective. I write music, and there's two sides to me, and it's like I really want all my friends to hear my songs, even my ex girlfriends, and even these girls that I've had crushes on, and even these like people that I don't really talk to anymore. I want them to hear my shit. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, fuck them. Focus on the people that listen to my music. They
Yeah.
naturally gravitate towards my music. Focus on them. And so I do. So now it's like, you know what? I don't care who listens to my music, if you're my friend or not, or if I had history with you or not. If you listen to my music, you're my family. And I'm going to make music for you, and I'm going to keep making you proud no matter what. I'm just going to keep going for you. And that circle is just going to keep growing, or, whoever wants to come into the circle that wants to listen to my music, great. And that's the perspective that I go after. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep making music, bro. If you want to listen, you can listen, because it makes me
Man.
happy at the end of the day. Like you make your podcast if you want to make your podcast, bro. If people want to listen, they'll come and listen. It's their
Tell
thing.
him,
You're providing
AKB.
value
Tell
at the
him.
end of the day.
Tell
So
Tell
that's
him,
that's my
AKB.
perspective, and that's how it all started. In When I graduated from San Francisco as a dentist in America, finally, I had to do some soul searching because I was making videos right now on Drake songs, right? And I had a bunch of videos planned on like Lindsey Sterling songs and Jadena and all these songs that I was going to use to make videos on. And I was like, you know what? Hold on, put it on pause. And actually, I got called from my university. I got an award, a scholarship for filming now. I didn't I stopped making videos with me in front of the camera because I was so busy with dental school. I started filming. So I used my iPhone and I started filming like dental events and parties and like conferences and stuff like that. And I made good videos, and they got recognized by the dean and like the California Dental Association and all that stuff. And I got a scholarship at the end of the year. And then I started getting gigs from people in San Francisco. And they used to be like, bro, I'll pay you like $500 to go come film for me and stuff. And off my iPhone, because I
Yeah,
did
they don't
good
got budgets
editing and
like
stuff.
that out here in Bakersfield. I'm gonna let you know right now. They ain't paying $500. They're like, does
Hey,
your video,
trying to do
does
it.
your camera shoot
That
4K? I'm like, do you have lights? Yeah, like, well, I got $45. I'm like,
yeah, $45.
$45.
Yeah,
I got
can
$20
you
if
hear
I
me
can do
properly?
ports.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. My headphones died, so Yeah, so I started actually growing off my like CVO Motion brand, and people wanted to come and film, like wanted me to come and film for them, and I did a couple of gigs, and I got paid for them, and it was great because I got like free admission to where they would want me to go.
Yeah.
They'd give me dinner and wine and beer unlimited, and like I get to go and film on my phone on my little selfie stick, and I'd come home and edit the videos and stuff like that. And then when I graduated, I moved to Bakersfield. I got a job here. Me and my wife both moved here, and
Did you meet your
and I
wife
was
in
like,
San Francisco?
no, I met my wife in India, in dental
Oh,
school in India.
okay.
Yeah. So we both were together since it's gonna be 10 years soon. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
That's
Yeah, because
dope. That's
you came
dope.
back to America in 2013, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
when I actually graduated high school. Like, I think it was yesterday, 7 years ago.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh
I'm making y'all
shit.
feel old, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like that's crazy. The simple fact that like y'all met each other in a whole different country, right? And
Yeah.
then she followed you to San Francisco, huh?
No. So she was 2 years ahead of me.
Oh,
So
okay.
she was in her fifth year when I was in my third year. So I had 2 more years left in India, and she graduated. So we had a long distance relationship for the longest. Because as soon as she graduated, she went to Miami, for her to do her master's in public health.
And y'all
So
y'all
she
came
was
back to Bakersfield?
Yeah, that's why though. So it's a full circle again. Think about it, because she
Uh-huh.
went to Miami, right? And she was in school for 2 years, and she got her master's in public health. Those 2 years, I finished my school in India. We were literally across the world. She was here, and I was here, right? And and right when I graduated from India, I came back to California, and we'd meet in the middle. Every 6 or 7 months, or 3 or 4 months if we're lucky. We'd meet, and then I came back to California. Now we're applying for dental school admissions, and we
Uh-huh.
finally get admissions. But guess where she gets admission, and guess where I get admission? I get it in San Francisco, and she gets it in Buffalo, New York.
What the
So
fuck? No
2 years,
way.
yeah, 2 more years we're apart from each other. But now we're only one country apart. Before we were worlds apart,
Yeah.
right? So we take it positively. We know we want to make it work, so we continue. And then 2 years later, we both graduate. She comes to San Francisco, and we finish off my graduation. We look for jobs together, and we find the best opportunity in Bakersfield, and we pick it. We start work. We move to Bakersfield, and literally we put our deposit in for an apartment, Watermark Apartments, on Gosford, right by Sam's Club, and where Beacon Studios used to be,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
close to that, where Farmer Brothers and Del Taco and all that shit. So
Oh, Farmer
we
Boys
literally,
messes me up every time, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's just little
I haven't
side.
had it in a long time.
I love it, bro, but like every time, man, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like it's just one of those points I gotta bring up because like I rep Del Taco, but like Del Taco is the like top tier. But like Farmer Boys, bro, like it just kills me, man. But well, also because you talked about Beacon, right? Like,
Yeah.
shout out to John, Jason, Justin. I like without
Yo,
them,
yo.
none of
Without
this
them,
would
my
be
songs wouldn't
possible.
sound as good, man.
Like, they've helped me so much, and every time I ask them a question, they're amazing. I'm gonna get John on the podcast one of these days. He's always
Ooh,
like,
Yeah.
nice.
but
Yeah.
That'd
We're
be
gonna get
dope.
his
I'd like to see
ass.
that.
but
Gonna get his
so
ass.
like I would travel over there because I used to live in Shafter, and I would travel over there for certain things. So I've had all the food right there. You get me? All of
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
it's always a bad decision to get Farmer Boys when you have to travel 30 minutes home. You get me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
especially because like
That stomach be on the bubble. That
hopefully
stomach be on the
my
Yeah.
bubble,
girlfriend don't
huh?
hear this, but like sometimes you just have to get food without them, and then you have to drive home and eat it on the way home. You know what I'm saying? But
That's crazy.
so yeah, you move into the apartments right there, right?
So actually, I put on the deposit where we finally decide to move in. Bunch of process goes through for the job and everything. We test the city. We see if we like it or not. Finally, we're staying at the Ramada Inn off of 99 for
Yeah.
like 3 days
Damn.
before we move in.
The
Before we get our
Ramada
keys.
Inn?
Yeah, yeah. The Ramada Inn. That's where I write my first lyrics, and that's when I decide I'm like, bro,
Oh.
I'm gonna become a fucking rapper. You know what? If I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for it all the way. I want to become. Why film for a rapper and be behind the camera and get the credit and make this much amount of money? And I did my research about who makes how much, what happens, And I was like, why compromise? If I really want to make songs, if I really like music, and I used to write lyrics when I was 12 years old. I had a bunch of songs written from back then. I'm gonna start writing lyrics, and I call my friend once again, support. Nick, shout out to Nick, man. He's the homie. And then I called. I still remember I was standing outside. I called him. I was like, bro, I feel like rapping. And he's like, bro, all the videos and all the shit that you've done till today are fire. So I'm sure whatever the fuck you decide to do next is gonna be even better. And I was like, bro, thank you. And I hang up the phone. I start writing lyrics that night. I studied like Chris Brown's Netflix documentary, and like I just started studying. That was the first time I started writing rhymes. And then I have another friend, Indian rapper as well. His name's Aro. He came to my. Finally, we move into the apartment. And then 3 months later, we buy a house in Bakersfield. And now I have my friends come over here, and he's a rapper. So he sets up this whole setup that I'm sitting in right now. There's speakers here, and there's a microphone inside the closet right here. He's the one who brings his microphone and his speakers, and he sets it up, and he starts rapping in the closet. And he's like, this is the location where I want to set this up." And I was like, "Yeah, man, make your songs, go ahead." And I showed him a couple of rhymes that I've written down. I've never recorded anything in my life yet, and I'm like, "Man, can I play with the microphone a little bit? Can I record something?" And that night I wrote "Welcome to This Meeting." This just verse, like this whole long verse I wrote, and I recorded on his microphone, and I loved the way I sounded. I wrote another song, King Me, my second song, and then I started recording off my phone after they left. I didn't have his microphone or anything, so I was like, I recorded on my phone on this beat that I found on YouTube. And I was like, man, it sounds pretty good on my phone, like recording off the speakers of my laptop, recording on my phone. I really wish I could go and buy a microphone and like see what it sounds like in a real good quality. And so my wife supports me. She says, let's go to Guitar Center in Bakersfield, and we bought a microphone. And I come home, and that night, bro, first time I recorded in my house with that microphone, I couldn't stop. I knew it. And I've filmed before, I've danced before, I've choreographed before, I've like storyboarded before. I've done so much shit where I've never felt like that. I recorded that night and I couldn't stop. I just kept going.
So King Me's the one that Beacon shot, right? Correct? Your first music video ever?
Drew shot you.
Oh, okay. Drew shot you.
That's King Me.
So what's the one?
Drew shot you?
What's the one?
Yeah.
With the you're on the psych wall and it's all the.
Yeah, that's King Amongst Men.
Okay,
King Amongst Men.
I knew it was King Amongst something.
Yeah, it was King. Yeah, you're right.
King Me, you actually hit me up to do it too, right? But it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, and then Drew shot you did it.
I miss opportunities all the time. That's just my lifestyle, bro.
No problem, man. There's a lot more songs.
Like I'm that guy who's on the basketball court. Like, yo, I can shoot that for you.
You gonna pass the ball? You gonna pass it?
I need that assist.
Shoot the J, Bob. Shoot it.
And I'm like, nah, bro, it's good.
But
I think that's changing for me, right? So like,
yeah,
a lot of opportunities I'm hesitant to do because I feel like it's gonna push me back. But I think it's really the perspective and the mindset of like, even though I fail or I don't do it like how I want to do it, the feelings of disappointment are gonna pass, and I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get something better, right? So before, I would have been like, yo, I don't know how to do this recording shit, right?
Yeah.
And even then, even if we stop recording and this video may not come out like how it's supposed to, I'll still have the audio and we could post that. And you know what? Lesson learned. You get me?
Cool.
Lesson learned. So like, I think that's where it's like, I'm growing as a human. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna.
Are you saying we're not recording right now, bro?
No. We're recording. I'm
just kidding.
Bob, I'm gonna strangle you, Bob.
Like, if you look at the bottom right, it says like recording.
We're still
right?
testing.
If it doesn't come out like how I'm supposed to, because a lot of things in technology, right?
Yeah,
like,
no.
You see things how it looks clear right here, but is the outcome?
It looks fine.
Yeah.
So I think that's incredible. Like you took the leap and you're like, screw it, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. And one thing I do want to speak on, right? Because all of us are in like long-term relationships. The support that comes from our significant others is the most important, in my opinion. The person that I lay next to every single night supports me no matter what. So I'll tell a story. I shoot on Panasonic, right? So there's a rapper, Stromae. You guys all know Stromae. Right? He's my brother for life. We're gonna shoot a music video in Rancho. It's for his music video that we did. It's called Low. My camera breaks. Like, my camera does not work. It doesn't accept the lenses. It's not starting. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are we gonna do? My girlfriend's like, look, we don't have a lot of money, but there's a pan like we have this much money. Could we get one at Best Buy? And I was
Mm.
like, I don't know. Like, we try it. So we buy this $300-$400. Oh, hold on. Okay, so the video messed up real quick on my end, but give me 1 second. I'll fix it. But anyways, I'm gonna continue to speak. So basically, we go buy this camera, right? And we shoot this music video off this $300 camera that I've never used before. I looked it up how to do it like the night before, but the support that she gave me the confidence to do something that I've never would have done before. And I just want to
Wow.
shout people out like that, like our significant others who are like, she told you, let's go to Guitar Center and let's try it out.
No, yeah, you
No
know how we were
doubt.
talking about balance before we started recording? That's where it comes from, man. It's like having that support from the other side and being like not judgmental at all and being like, you know what, just start rapping. And you know, now is like when I'm starting to see results of my rapping because I've been releasing so many songs, but like the support's been there from the beginning, you know, before I
Yeah.
made Welcome to This Meeting, and that sounded like shit at first, you know, and then I met John, and John made it sound dope, and then you know that's how I got confidence too. John supported me, Justin supported me, Beacon Studios, you know, everybody, Jason, and then you guys hit me up when I had 3 songs released, and you called me on a radio station for the interview, bro, and like all that stuff, the support that we get from everyone in the
You're upside
city
down,
and our
Bob.
significant others, you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's all about the support.
Yeah, man.
Like
Yeah, that's big,
a
man.
lot of people can say
Support is
that they
big.
they do it for themselves, right? But a
Yeah.
lot of it is the recognition from the people closest to us, the people that matter, the
Yeah.
people who
Yeah.
are there, like, yo, like, this is incredible. Um, it doesn't matter like the relationship I have with certain people outside of like where I live. Um, when they say something good about me, like, oh, yo, this, I remember him from here, and he's doing this. This is
Yeah.
incredible. It's like, yo, like, I we used to like mob the streets of Wasco and like do stupid stuff, right? And now like we're both adults and you're like, yeah, I have this college degree and I'm doing this, but what you do is cool. And then on my
Yeah.
side, I'm like, well, you have a college degree and doing this, that's cool. You get me?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
support
Yeah.
and the stuff like that. But before we head out, because my webcam's gonna fucking continue to turn off now. It told me, hey, bro, it turned off because it was too hot.
Yeah. He did.
Screw everyone
You
who
put a
got
fan on that
webcams,
thing,
bro. I
baby.
need to go buy a webcam instead of using my phone. But
I'll get
uh,
an iPhone.
so
Wait
AKB,
till
you have
the
an
next
album
one.
coming out, correct?
Yes, sir.
When is it coming out, and what's the name?
When is it dropping, AKB?
So
Let them know.
perfect timing, because you know how I said the first song I ever wrote was "Welcome to This Meeting,"
Uh huh.
and I gotta give it the respect it deserves, man. That was the first time I wrote something that I was like, man, this is just me. This is me in Bakersfield. I talk about Frugati's. That's my favorite restaurant on Bakersfield, and I just talk shit.
Side note,
You know?
bro. Side note.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gained weight looking at your Instagram stories, bro. When I say AKB has the best social media for food ever, bro. Frugati's, I've never been, but
That shit bomb, Bob.
how many
That shit
times I've
bomb.
seen it
Gotta
on
go.
his
I went
Instagram
today.
story?
That shit
He was
bomb.
like, I went today. See, how many times I've seen it on his Instagram story? I felt like I know the menu. You get me? I feel
Yeah.
like it's
No, I get that. I got people like family and friends coming from outside the city, coming into Bakersfield, and they're saying we got to go to Frugati's because of my social media. And they're like, I'm like, bro, and that's why we filmed the video in there with Beacon Studios. You know, I
That was
met the
fucking
owner.
dope.
I met the owner at Ralph
fire.
Frugati's, and he allowed us to film a video in there. And Welcome to This Meeting was filmed there. And my album name is called Welcome to This Meeting. That's the first song I wrote. That's my whole um, chapter in life that I want to close. And I'm releasing this album on June 19th this year, and that's the day I turned 30.
Okay.
And my the other song that's main off that album is Suited and Booted, which is number 2 off the album, and that's the main line in there is throwing not even 30 and I'm still throwing confetti, you know, and that's the whole thing. Right before I turn 30, I'm releasing a 21 song album called Welcome to This Meeting, and I'm closing that chapter in my life because I'm part of dentistry. I've been part of leadership. I'm on part of California Dental Association's board of managers, and we put on these shows for dentistry, and like I've been attending a lot of meetings in my school in San Francisco. And like, you know, I've always been getting suited up and attending all these conferences and meetings and doing all these things. And so this is where my motivation and like perspective comes from. This whole album, I want to take you through like all these meetings that I've been through, all these people that I've met in my life, all these topics that I've heard people say, and like, experiences in my life. And it starts with a song called Welcome to This Meeting, and it ends with a song called Exit. And I want you to kind of go through that whole experience and feel what I've been through this whole last 2 years of my life. And that's what the album's about. And you can find it on all streaming services on June 19th, 2020. And
Woo!
yeah,
June 19th. June 19th.
June 19th, exclusive right here, man. And then
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. There you go. And then
Juneteenth.
if you type in Indian dentist rapper on any Google or YouTube or anything, you're gonna find me because there's only one, baby.
So we have all your social media right there, right? And before we go, because my webcam, like my phone shut off again. It's like, yo, this interview is too fire. It's
too hot.
No, when I tell you, like, I'm a screenshot it, but it continues to tell me my phone is. It said phone is getting warm. It turned off.
Your free shot is cold though. Your
bro,
free shot.
Look at me, that look away shot right there, right? Y'all can hear me, but you can't see me. What's one last thing that you can speak on motivation and not giving up when it's looking dim and grim? Because you've been through a lot. You've accomplished something that. Whoa, what's going on right here? Hold on 1 second.
I don't know, man.
Everything is going out of whack, man. Let me fix that up real quick before we go on.
Where's that Henny at, bro?
Where's that Henny at? So, you want to speak on motivation and never giving up when the time is looking grim and bleak. And I feel like you of all people can speak on that.
Yeah, so I just released a song called Summertime, and I say, this is what I believe in, so this is what I'm going to leave behind, basically. I want to leave behind a legacy through my music. I look up to Kobe Bryant. Like, we started off the interview with Kobe Bryant, man, rest in peace. This year started off tough with that news, and then now coronavirus, and all these things that I've been going through in 2020, man. Just keep going, stay in motion, make the best out of the situation, do whatever you can for yourself. With that being said, I want to leave a legacy. Kobe Bryant left behind a legacy called Mamba mentality. Go in the gym and shoot harder than anybody else. Work all night. Don't let nobody stop you. And then shout out to Nipsey Hussle, man, R.I.P. I also bring him up in Summertime, and that's because he left a legacy behind called the marathon. Life is not a sprint; it's a marathon. Keep growing, keep running. Yeah. Keep going, man. Don't let nobody stop you. So that's my legacy is stay in motion, bro. Stay in motion. Do not ever stop. This is my brand. This is my legacy that I want to leave behind. That stay in motion, dream in motion. Don't let nobody stop you. Just keep going. Keep going. No matter what. Failures and struggles in life are the things that are going to lead you to success, actually. So if you're running into failures and struggles and you feel lazy one day and you feel like not doing, like making a song or doing your podcast or something like that, that's cool, because next day when you wake up, you got to understand that if you don't stay in motion, you're going to fall off that bike.
You know what, AKB? I appreciate all your wisdom and your kind words, and I think that's incredible that what you've done and what you've accomplished two dreams of some people have never accomplished one. And I think that's commendable. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who supported you first and foremost, because that's a big thing. You've been through numerous culture shocks when some people don't even leave their block. You've accomplished things, and not because of your drive, but because of who you are. Because you didn't let it get to you, and I think that's the biggest lesson. I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. Sammy, you got any last closing statements before we go?
AKB, man, thank you for coming up on here today and expressing your life and giving us a little depth detail of how you came up, man. I hope it shines a light on other people and, influence other people as well, that maybe, as a little scared to actually just take that leap, might have everything that they need, might be the next Nipsey, might be the next, Drake, but they just too scared to, get out there, man. Hopefully this story and your story, inspires them to do that, man. I appreciate you coming out here, Bob. I appreciate you starting this back up. We back, baby. Like I said, we back in full effect.
Yeah, like I said, man, make content for people who want to see your content. Fuck everybody else, right? And with
That's
that
real
being said,
talk.
I just want to say thank you to my wife, thank you to my parents, thank you to my brother, and thank you to all my friends who supported me, and thank you guys for bringing me on to this podcast. And I've never talked for 2 straight hours about my life and my story and stuff. So this is perfect way to bring it out, man. It's gonna be super valuable to all my fans and all my family members, all my friends. It's great to have you here. I mean, great for having me here, man. Thank you so much. I just hope that we can do this again soon.
Oh, and first and foremost, thank you AKB for giving me the motivation and pushing me. You're like, I think doing a Zoom call like this would be valuable to you. So all day I woke up early and made sure that we can have something that not only we can be proud of, but something that you can post and be like, yo, look, this is something that looks incredible, and push the envelope for content creators out here in Kern County. Thank you
Yeah,
so
Real
much.
talk.
and thanks for doing it
Real
so
talk.
fast, man. That's why I gave you so many dates. I was like, bro, because I really want the video, because a lot of my fans in India don't have Spotify, and so they might not have access to this podcast. So I was like, bro, like if we have video, it's gonna bring so much value to them, and I really want to bring value to them. They need more FaceTime with me and stuff. So thank you for doing it
Yeah.
so quickly. I was this looks so dope, man. You did such a great job.
Hell
Thank you. I
yeah. Hella dope.
appreciate that. I still got that look away fade right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking
Hell
away
yeah,
like,
man. That looks
Woo-hoo!
legendary.
well, with that being
How about
said, you
clean
guys,
too?
Legendary.
That's a,
thank you so much, AKP. Thank you, Sammy, from just everything. Thank you guys so much. And like he said, we're back. I finished my coffee, and I bet you all didn't finish your drinks. No, he
I did.
finished.
hey man, I had.
I need another one,
Hey
bro. I've been
man,
waiting.
I've been sipping on this all day. I've been
Cheers,
sipping
bro.
on this all day
Cheers,
since
and you
I've been
guys have
off.
a nice night. And thank you guys for listening.
Stay
Peace.
safe, bro. Take care.
Cheers.